Yo, if you want to understand football because you want to connect with your family when you're watching sports a little bit more, you want to like impress that dude that always talks about sports but never explains it to you, then this video is for you. So, a couple things about me. My name is Keyshawn, and my whole life, my passions have aligned with athletics, teaching, performance, and comedy, right? So, right now, we're at the perfect apex. I'm a performer for Disney. I played college football. I've worked as a teacher. Like, all of this stuff, it's led us to this perfect moment together. And I'm here to essentially hold your hand through it as I break down football for you. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because, like I said, a lot of people don't take the time to understand where somebody's coming from when they don't know something. Because one of the hardest things for the human mind to process is being at the position when you didn't know something beforehand, right? Like, at this present moment, I stand, I walk, I run, but my brain can't fathom what it was like when I wasn't able to do that as a baby. And that's how it is when a lot of people know things. You're like, hey, can you explain that? They're like, psh, it's easy. All you got to do is da-da-da, and you're lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this to you like you're a first grader, because when you really, truly understand something, you should be able to explain it on every different kind of level. You should be able to talk with the most advanced in that field, and you should also be able to talk to those who know absolutely nothing. So I know a lot about this because when you play college football, you have to study it in a way that most people don't, right? Where you're in the gym lifting, you're on the practice field, you're in the games, making sure that your nutrition is right because you know exactly how you move, how you perform. You have to know yourself in a way that you can't even explain to others. And then you have to know the game in a way that you can only talk to your teammates about, because everybody else, they're not on that level yet. You essentially have to major in football in college if you're playing college football, right? And the amount of film that you have to study, it's essentially like taking 2 more classes every semester. So don't worry, I've got you. You're in good hands. Now, just to break this down, we're going to start at the very, very basis of what football is as a game. Essentially, it's 2 teams, okay? 2 teams with 1 ball on the field. Now, the goal of the game is to score points. The person with the most points wins. The person with the least amount of points loses. Easy. The way to get points, there are 2 ways to get points. The first way is to get the ball over the end zone line, okay? And the end zone, that's the area where essentially people yell touchdown. So once you cross that specific line, you're in the end zone. Once the ball crosses that line, you score points. And there's a couple ways that the ball crosses that line. It has to cross in somebody's possession. So if you're holding the ball and you go across that line, then you score. Now, while you're trying to advance the ball over one line, you're also trying to protect the other one. So think of it like you have your end zone and you're trying to get the ball into the other end zone. So if I take my ball into my own end zone, I don't get any points because it's mine. But if I take the ball and I put it in the other team's end zone, I score. And it's the other team's job to stop me from getting the ball over there while also getting the ball into their end zone. So when you're on offense, you're actively trying to get the ball into your end zone. When you're on defense, you're actively trying to stop an offense from advancing the ball into the end zone, but you can still score on defense. So if you are on defense, you stop them, but you're able to get the ball and you advance it, then you can still score points. So just think, the line behind you, if the ball crosses and you have it, you don't score. The line in front of you, if you get the ball into that end zone, you score. Okay? So that's the first way to get the ball over that line. The second way comes with only a kick, and that is by kicking a field goal and getting the ball in between the uprights. So And we see the referees, they like do this at the end of it. So what happens is there are a couple different things that a team can do when they're on offense. They can pass, they can run, and they can kick, okay? Now, before I get into all the differentials of why, just know there are 3 things that a team can do on offense, and there are 2 ways that you can score. Getting the ball over that line, which is the end zone line, and kicking the ball through the uprights. So now we've got scoring out the way. Now let's get into it. When you're on offense, it's your job to score, but you don't have all day to do it. You get 4 chances to score the ball, right? Once those 4 chances are up, the other team gets it, the other offense is up, and now your defense is up to protect your end zone from that team, right? Again, on offense, you're trying to score. On defense, you're trying to stop the other team from scoring, okay? But you can also score on defense, and I'll get into that a little bit as well. So in those 4 tries, you have 4 opportunities, 4 downs to advance 10 yards, okay? Now, football field is 100 yards. From one end zone to the other end zone, 100 yards. If you start on the 50, you have 50 yards to go. If you start on your own 40-yard line, then you have 60 yards to go, right? So in these 100 yards, it's divided at the 50, and it counts 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-yard line, 40, 30, 20, 10, okay? Just because it's not going to go like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, because now one team is starting on a 90. It's essentially like you give each team their own possession of the field. So I have my own 50 yards, they have their own 50 yards. And that lets you know, like, they're coming close to my end zone, I'm getting close to their end zone, okay? So, like I said, you have 4 chances to go 10 yards. Yards being 3 feet. So 1 yard is 3 feet. Normal measurement with that. And now 10 of those yards is how far you have to get before you can continue to advance closer and closer in that 100-yard conquest of scoring the ball, right? Now, here's where running, passing, kicking come in. Once you kick the ball, that's essentially you going with, this is a way to score or a way to give the ball to the other team. So if you kick a field goal, it's going to score, or it won't, which means the other team is going to get it. So now, super briefly, you have 3 things that you can do when you're on offense, and that is running, passing, or kicking the ball, okay? So within your 4 tries, within your 4 downs, you can either run it, pass it, or kick it. Now, here's the thing. If you kick the ball, it gives it to the other team unless you score through a field goal. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just think, a kick can either score or go to the other team. A run or a pass is what you do to your own team to advance you towards the end zone. I can pass to my other teammate, or I can run the ball myself and score, okay? And that's the basis for some of this. If there's more info that you want, just comment for part 2 and I can break it down. I'll break down offense, defense. I could even break down schemes for you. So yeah, I hope that helped. And yeah, comment for part 2.